Good morning students, welcome to Purnachandra Higher Secondary School. Okay, so in the previous class we are discussing about the Kirchhoff's law, KVL, okay, and the application of KVL, which is a very important application, this is the Wheatstone breeze, how the breeze can be balanced. This thing we have already discussed in the previous video lecture. I think all of you clear. If you have any doubt, then you can freely ask me. Okay, so now in this class is a very important also, and only it is important for theoretical point of view. There is no problem to be raised here from the exam. Okay, so just listen to the concept, how it will work. Very simple. Okay, so meter breeze. We are discussing about another application of your Kirchhoff's law or extension. We can call it as the extension of your Wheatstone's breeze. Clear? This is a very similar structure with the idea of Wheatstone breeze. Clear? So what happens here? What happens here in the meter breeze? So meter breeze, look at the figure all of you. In the meter breeze, these are the copper stripes. Okay? Whatever I will mark here, these are the copper stripes. Clear? These are the copper strips. The copper strips, there are how many copper strips? 1, 2 and 3. These are the copper strips. Okay, so these copper strips are arranged in such a way that there is a gap in between these two. Okay, so the gap G1 and the gap G2. Clear? In between the gap G1, listen very carefully. In between the gap G1, okay, we connect a unknown resistance P. I'll repeat, we connect a unknown resistance P, and in between the gap G2, we will connect, okay, so in between the gap G2, we will connect another resistance, that is the standard resistance or known resistance, that is Q. Clear? So P is the unknown resistance and Q is the standard or known resistance. Understood all of you? Now, look below it, just at this point A, look at this figure, at this point A and the point C, there are two soldered points. These 2 points connect with a wire which is made up of a specific material, either manganese or constantine. Clear? Why these materials are used? Because these materials are having low temperature coefficient. Okay, so this where AC is traced, where AC is having a specific length or certain length, that is 1 meter. Clear? We cannot take it as 2 meter or 3 meter. So the traced wire is having a fixed length, that is 1 meter, and it is made up of what? The manganese or constantine due to the low temperature coefficient. Understood? Then look at very carefully. Then these strip and these strip are connected with a battery and a key. Clear? Okay. And look at it. This strip is connected to this wire, manganese wire AC, with a galvanometer G and with a high resistance. Okay. So this is connected with this traced wire AC at the point J. So that is a jockey, which is moving switch that acts like a jockey. Okay. So now actually what is the aim? So this is the constructional view of your meter breeze. So what is the aim? What we will perform here, or why the meter breeze is used? The meter breeze is used generally to find out the unknown resistance value. Clear? The same concept of Wheatstone breeze, is applicable to here. Here also we have to balance the breeze first, then find out the condition how to get the unknown resistance value. Understood all of you? Okay, so this is the construction. Now, actually what happens here? Let us summarize these things. What happens here? So now what is our aim? So this is act like a breeze. Okay, act like a breeze. So now what our aim? It's very careful. Our aim to adjust this jockey or that point J. Okay, adjust this jockey J at some point of AC in such a way that, listen very carefully, we have to adjust this, okay, in the wire AC at such a point that the current across the galvanometer becomes zero, as we have done or as we have performed in the Wheatstone bridge. Okay, so we adjust this switch or this jockey moving switch in AC at some point such that the current in the galvanometer G becomes zero, so that the bridge becomes balanced. Clear all of you? Okay, so now suppose we will get at L1, look at very carefully, suppose we will get at L1 the bridge is balanced, that is balanced length. Okay, and your AJ, which is nothing but your AJ L1 balanced length. And similarly the rest is JC, that is L2. Okay, so at the we will place the jockey in that point J. Okay, that is the we will get let the balanced length is L1. Balanced length means at the length L1 the current in the galvanometer becomes zero and the bridge will be balanced. Okay, there is no current flow in this part. Very simple. Okay, so now as the bridge will be balanced, then what we will take now at this condition or at this step we will take the AJ or we can call, we will replace this edge A with the help of resistance R. Okay, and replace this JC with resistance S. Clear? Okay, so again I will repeat whole summary. This is my constructional view of meter bridge. What is our aim? Now our aim to find out the unknown resistance. Here the unknown resistance is P, but Q is the standard resistance. So what we will do? Now we will adjust that moving switch or the jockey in such a place in that wire AC such that the current in the galvanometer becomes zero. Okay, so that the meter bridge or the bridge will be balanced. Okay, and in that condition I will take or I will replace the edge resistance R and replace JC as resistance S. Very simple. Okay, so now let us apply the condition or balance condition of your Wheatstone bridge. So what is the balance condition of your Wheatstone bridge? P by Q is equal to R by S. Very simple. This is the balance condition of Wheatstone bridge. So at this condition I have to apply this. P by Q is equal to R by S. So that implies, so P divided by Q is equal to R by S. So what is R? R is AJ. Okay, and Q is, here S is JC, as we will replace that one. Okay, so that implies P by Q is equal to what is the length of AJ? We will take L1 balance length, and what is the length of JC? That is L2. Okay, so that implies what is our unknown resistance? P. So P is nothing but the standard resistance Q into L1 divided by L2. So this is the formula by which we can find out the unknown resistance P. We can find out the unknown resistance P. Okay, in which condition? Where the standard resistance is given and the length L1 and the length L2. Okay, the length L1 and the length L2 is provided to us. That means, and how we will get that length L1 and L2? The length L1 and L2 you will get by adjusting this key, the jockey. Clear? By adjusting this point J. Clear all of you? Okay, so this is your condition, that is P is equal to Q all into L1 divided by L2, by which we can find out that with this formula we can easily find out the unknown resistance value P, okay, which is provided to here in the meter bridge. Clear all of you? Okay, so this is how very similar or simple concept, which is the extension of your Wheatstone bridge. Is a very simple one. Okay, just in case of your Wheatstone bridge, there is a specific resistance is given, but here this length, again I will repeat, this length L1 and L2. Okay, this length L1 and L2 will act like a resistance because everywhere has certain resistance. Clear all of you? Okay, so this is your about the meter bridge. Clear. Now come to our next part or next thing. Next is your potentiometer. Next is your potentiometer. So let us draw a very simple diagram of a potentiometer. Okay, so that is a very simple figure of your potentiometer. Look at that figure. So there are 2 points A and B. Look at this figure very carefully. There are 2 points A and B. So basically first we will discuss about what is a potentiometer. Now potentiometer is a device. Remember, potentiometer is an electrical device by which we can find out the potential difference between any 2 points. Clear all of you? So basically it is used to find out the potential difference between any 2 points. So here this is the structural view of a potentiometer. What actually happens here? There is a meter. There is a meter scale. Look at this. There is a meter scale above it, which is fixed with a wooden box. Okay, and these are the screws. Okay, these are the screws, and this is my wire. Okay, which is having a certain length, that is 10 meter. Remember, okay, so this is having a certain length, that is your 10 meter. The 10 meter wire is traced from A to B through these screws. Again I will repeat, the 10 meter wire is traced from point A to point B through these screws. These screws are fixed on a wooden box. Clear? And specifically the important point is that these wires, okay, this wire is made up of what? Now this wire is made up of, again it is made up of constantine or manganese. Why? Because the manganese or constantine, these are having low temperature coefficient. Clear all of you? Okay, so this is the structural view of a potentiometer, and with the help of this potentiometer, we are going to find out the potential difference between any 2 points. Clear all of you? Okay, so now let us discuss about the principle of potentiometer. Let us discuss about the principle of potentiometer. Okay. So let us discuss about the principle of potentiometer. That is your principle of your potentiometer. What actually potentiometer? What is the principle? Okay. So look at this figure very carefully. So this is the circuitry view of a potentiometer. Okay. So what happens actually in this circuit? Look at very carefully. There are two parts. One is this. Another one is this part. So the upper part consisting of a battery and a switch. Okay, the upper part consisting of a battery and a switch, and there is a current flow I. This upper part is called primary circuit. This is called primary circuit. Okay, and the lower part is called secondary circuit. The upper part is called primary circuit, the lower part is called secondary circuit. So as it's very clearly that this in the secondary circuit the EMF is connected in series with a galvanometer and a high resistance. Clear? The galvanometer and a high resistance. So in the same manner, let us name this point as J, or that is a jockey, the moving switch. So what is our aim? The same process. The aim is we have to place this jockey in between the wire AB. Again I will repeat, we want to place this jockey or this moving switch in between the your wire AB in such a manner that the current flowing in this galvanometer become zero. Okay, so that why? So that this circuit will be balanced. Clear? So now in this case, suppose we told that at this length AZ, suppose I will take this length BL. Okay, so suppose again the L is here balanced length. Okay, so L is your balanced length. So at this length L, listen very carefully, at this length L, balanced length, okay, the current in this galvanometer becomes nil or zero. Okay, so at this condition what I can write? The EMF E, okay, generated in this circuit is equal to the current flowing in the primary circuit. The resistance R and the length, that is the balanced length. Remember, in this condition where the jockey is placed in such a manner that the current in the galvanometer becomes zero. So in this condition, the EMF generated in this circuit E is equal to the multiplication of these three, that is the current in the primary circuit into the resistance into the length, that is the balanced length. So in this equation, or this is the equation, or this is the the expression by which we can find out the potential of this circuit. Okay, so in this part the current I and the resistance R, the current I and resistance R becomes a constant. So the E, that is EMF, is directly proportional to the length, that is the balanced length. Okay, so as the length changed, it's very important, as the length changed, your EMF will be changing. Clear? That is very important. As the length change, so the EMF is directly proportional to the length of that is the balanced length. Clear all of you? Okay, so E is directly proportional to the L. This is the principle of your potentiometer. So what the principle states that now in case of a balanced condition where the galvanometer, in this galvanometer the current will be zero, so at this condition the EMF of this circuit is directly proportional to the balanced length. Okay, so that is the principle of your potentiometer. And the balance meter, how you will get? The balance length we will get by adjusting the jockey. That is the moving switch J. Here mention I will mention J. So by adjusting this J, we will get the balance length. Okay, so E is directly proportional to L. That is the principle of your potentiometer. It's a very important one. Understood all of you? So that principle, remember that one. In case of any electrical potentiometer, the EMF generated in this potentiometer is directly proportional to the balance length. Understood all of you? Okay. Acha. So next, the last part, let us compare two cells with this help of potentiometer. Let us compare. So for this, let us draw the figure. Again, I will draw the figure, the same figure, little bit change. Okay, so this is your E1, this is your E2. Okay, so this is your C1 point, this is your D1 point, this is your C2 point, this is your D2 point, and this point is C, and this point is D. Clear? And this is again connected to a galvanometer and a high resistance, and this is again connected to a certain point Z. Clear? So this is your battery, this is your key. Very simple. And this is RH, is nothing but your rheostat. So what you will do? Comparison of. So what you will do? Now we have to comparison between the EMF of two cells using potentiometer. This is our aim. With this circuit, what we will do? Now we have to compare. We have to compare the EMF of two cells using potentiometer. So what are the two cells here? E1 and E2. Clear? So the figure is same. Everything we have already discussed. There is a battery, there is a key, there is a rheostat. Rheostat, all of you know, this is a variable resistance. That is called rheostat. We can vary the resistance of this circuit. And why? Because with this variable resistance, we can manage the flow of current. Okay, it has two parts. Same. Primary circuit, secondary circuit. Clear? The primary circuit consists of these things, and the secondary part consists of these things. Okay, these things mean the new thing is here. This one. Okay, so this one means, look at very carefully, this structure is called DPDT. What is DPDT? Now DPDT is nothing but double pole, double throw. Listen very carefully, double pole, double throw. What does it mean, double pole, double throw? That means this is nothing but a switch. Okay, which is how many ways are there? The 6-way switch. We are using, suppose in our home, how many 2-way switch? Either up or on, but this is a 6-way switch. 6-way, look at here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there are 6-way switch, and it is called DPDT, dual pole, dual throw. Because the switch can be either it will have a upper function, either it will have a lower function. So that's why it is called DPDT, dual pole, dual throw. Okay, so what happens here? What is our aim? Now we have to compare. Our aim to compare between these two EMFs, E1 and E2. Okay, so the same process. What is the process? Now our aim to adjust this jockey J in such a point that the current in the galvanometer becomes 0. Okay, but here little bit deviation because we have two EMFs. So if we will connect, listen very carefully, if we will connect the switch in C1 and D1, listen very carefully, if we connect the switch to C1 and D1, then the E1 will be take part, number one. Number two, if we will connect the switch to C2 and D2, then E2 will take part. Very simple. Okay, suppose we will take C1, suppose the switch is connected to C1 and D1. So which will take part? The E1 will take part. Okay, so in this condition, when the E1 is take part, let us adjust this jockey in such a length or in such a point that at this galvanometer the current will be 0. Clear? Suppose that length I will take it as L1. So at the length, L1 means this length. Again I will repeat, this is A, this is B. So this AJ, again I will repeat, AJ. So let AJ length is L1. So at this point the current in the galvanometer becomes 0. IC is equal to 0. The bridge will be balanced, and in this which EMF will take part? E1 will be take part. E1 will be take part because the switch is connected to C1 and D1. Switch. Okay. The switch is connected to C1 and D1. Okay, so at this condition we have to apply the principle of potentiometer. So what the potentiometer principle says? At this condition the EMF generated E1, let us take E1. So E1 is equal to, depends upon the current I, the resistance R, and the length. What length I will take? L1. Understood all of you? So this is the first case when the switch is connected to C1 and D1. Very simple. Now come to the second part, when the switch is connected to C2 D2. So let, in this condition, let AJ is equal to L2. Okay, so in this when AJ is equal to L2, suppose another length where the jockey can be placed, another length L2. Okay, now in this condition E2 will be take part. In this condition E2 will be take part. The switch is connected to C2 D2. Switch is connected to C2 and D2. Very simple. So in this condition, what is my EMF? Now E2 is equal to current I, resistance R, and length L2. So there are two conditions. Now we are comparing these two. So for when the switch is connected to C1 and D1, EMF is this. When the switch is connected to C2 and D2, the EMF is this. Okay, so now let us compare it. This is equation 1, this is equation 2. Okay, so comparing equation 1 and equation 2, what I will write? Now E1 divided by E2 is equal to IR L1 divided by IR L2. Very simple. Okay, so that implies this IR cancel out. That is L1 divided by L2. Clear? So E1 divided by E2 is equal to L1 divided by L2. So that implies, suppose from E1 and E2, suppose the E1 is unknown. Again I will repeat, suppose E1 is unknown, E2 is known to you. Okay, so I have to find out the value of E1. So E1 is equal to E2 whole into L1 divided by L2. Understood? So in this process, we can compare or we can easily find out the EMF, okay, of two cells with the help of potentiometer. This is the process. If E1 is unknown, this is the formula. If E2 is unknown, that is the first. Just find out. Clear all of you? So this is the process by which we can apply the potential or we can use the potentiometer to compare between the two cells, E1 and E2. Clear all of you students? Okay. Have a good day.